Dear learners, so here I am to start the chapter Morphology of Flowering Plants. So let's first see what are flowering plants. Flowering plants, in very simple words, are those plants which bears flowers, and these flowers they mature to form the fruits and the seeds. There are several kind of plants that we know, such as algae, bryophyte, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. So these angiosperms, they are the most highly evolved plants in the whole plant kingdom. So in the chapter, we are going to discuss about the external features of the plant body, and that is why the name of the chapter is given as Morphology of Flowering Plants. Now let's see what is morphology. Morphology is the branch of science which studies the forms and the structure, and in botany the word morphology is the study of the external characteristics of a plant body. The word morphology, if we break it up, then it comes from two words. One, morphos, that means form and structure, and the other word is logos. It is the study. So hence, the study of the external features, forms and structures of a flowering plant is called as morphology. So there are near about 2 lakhs of angiosperms in the whole plant kingdom, and they are regarded as the most higher form, which is divided into two types: dicotyledons and monocotyledons. Now, what is the importance of studying morphology in biology? Generally, for any living organism, we need to study the morphology or external features, because morphology always helps in the process of classification. So I hope all of you know what does the word classification mean. Classification, it is the systematic arrangement of the organisms depending upon the characteristics that they bear. And in this whole system of classification, morphology had always played a very important role to identify the plants. So therefore, morphology is of importance to study biology. In the chapter, mainly we are going to discuss about the plant parts of a flowering plant. We know that the flowering plants are divided into two parts. One is the part which remains above the ground, and the part which remains under the ground or embedded in the soil. So the part which remains towards the upper part of the ground is called as shoot system, and the part which remains towards the lower side under the ground is called as the root system. Now let's have the overview of this chapter. So in this chapter we are going to discuss about the root system and the shoot system, that also comprises of stem, leaves, inflorescence, flowers, fruits, seeds, dispersal of seeds, and the description of some important taxonomic families. And moreover, these parts of the plant body, it is further divided into into a few sections. The root system will be further studied in the subheads as characteristics of a root system, parts of a typical root, types of root system, modifications of different types of roots, and finally the functions of the roots. So let's at first discuss about the characteristics of a root system. Now let's discuss the characteristics of the root system. The first characteristics of the root system is that it is the descending axis or descending part of the plant body that generally remains below the soil. The second characteristic is that the origin of roots or the whole root system, it takes place from the radicle of the embryo. As we know that for every organism, the embryo, that is its first existence, we all are developed from the embryo. So in case of the plant kingdom, the basic parts or the important parts of the plant body, so they are differentiated in the embryo, and the radicle, it is a special part in the embryo that gives rise to the whole root system. Then the third characteristic of root system is that they are always positively geotropic and negatively phototropic. So whenever I say the word geotropic and phototropic, these are the movements of the plant body in response to a stimulus. And in case of the root system, we never see them grow towards sunlight. The root system, it always goes downward the soil, and it is attracted by the gravitational pull, and that is why the movement of root is always called to be positively geotropic. Geo, gravity, and tropic means movement, and it is negatively phototropic. That means it doesn't move towards sunlight. So that is the third characteristic of the root system. Now the fourth characteristic is that if we see the color of root, they are always non-green. We term it as non-green. As the cells are not green in color, unlike the leaves, they cannot photosynthesize. Hence, the character is that the roots are non-green in color and they cannot prepare their own food. The fifth point is that the root system, they possesses apical portion. That means the root system always bears a tip that is generally below the ground, or that is generally embedded in the soil, and it grows deep into the soil. So the fifth characteristic is that the root system, it bears root tip or apical portion, and they also bears lateral branches. Lateral branches are the side branches that grows from the main root. The sixth characteristic is that roots never possess nodes and internodes. Nodes, these are some condensed tissue that is present in between the stem. And root, they never possess any such kind of condensed tissue, and hence it is said that the roots, they do not possess nodes and internodes. Moreover, roots, they bears root hairs, and these root hairs, they are unicellular. So these are some basic characteristics of the root system. Now let's discuss the parts of a typical root system. The parts of the root system is generally divided into 5 parts, and those 5 parts are region of maturation, region of elongation, region of root hairs, region of meristematic tissue, and the root cap region. So the sequence that I have said just now, that is from the base of the stem towards the tip. That means if we come from the stem part, we will get the region of maturation first, then comes the region of elongation, and along with the region of elongation comes a specific region which is called as the region of root hairs. Then comes the region of meristematic tissue, and towards the tip comes the region of root cap. Now let's discuss the first region from the top of the plant body, that is the region of maturation of the root system. The region of maturation comprises of mature cells. When I say mature cells, these are cells which do not undergo cell division. The cell walls become thick and therefore no water absorption takes place in the cells. ইয়াত যিখিনি cells আছে বা যিখিনি tissues আছে, ইয়া generally এটা chemical product store হৈ যায় যেটো cellৰ ভিতৰৰ পৰা secrete কৰে, আৰু সেই chemical product নাম হৈছে cutin, আৰু সেই কাৰণে ইয়াৰ cell wall খনৰ ওপৰত এই cuticle layer to deposit হৈ যোৱাৰ কাৰণে ইয়াত থকা যিখিনি cells আছে বা যিখিনি tissues আছে সেইখিনি thick walled হৈ যায়. Therefore it is said that the cell walls are thick, and therefore it cannot undergo further cell division and remains in the root system only for the mechanical support. So generally this particular region, they bears the lateral roots which arises from the internal part of the root, that is called as pericycle. Ami lateral branching a particular region to the palm, that is the region of maturation. Region of maturation or pasot পোৱা যায় region of elongation. এতে elongation region to থাকিব হে একে ধৰণৰ cells which do not undergo cell division. So here also the cells, they do not undergo cell division, but the cells are not thick walled, but they are preparing for the cell to get matured. Generally in this particular region, the cells, they prepare to form the primary root. যেটো আমি primary root যেতিয়া আমি এটা section যেতিয়া কৰো তাৰ ভিতৰৰ যিখিনি internal structure যিখিনি দেখি পাও, সেই internal structure খিনি form কৰিবলৈ কাৰণে ইয়াত cells বিলাকে differentiate হয়, আৰু differentiate হৈ পিনে তাহাঁতি কি কৰে, তাহাঁতি বেলেগ বেলেগ internal parts বিলাক form কৰে, আৰু ইয়াতে যিখন outer layer থাকে cellৰ, যাক আমি কওঁ epidermis. So epidermal cells, they develop unicellular root hair. Epidermis খনৰ বাহিৰলৈ কিছুমান hair like structure কিছুমান develop হৈ আহে, that is the outgrowth of the epidermal cells, and those epidermal cells therefore bears unicellular root hairs. হেতু কাৰণে আমি এই পার্টিকুলার রিজনটোতে root hairs বিলাকো পাওঁ. Generally the root hairs, they are present around 1 to 6 centimeter in length in the region of elongation. Then after the region of elongation comes the region of meristematic zone. Now what is meristematic zone? Meristematic zone has come from the word meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue, it is a type of tissue in case of plant body where the cells, they undergo repeated cell division. So this is the region where rapid cell division takes place towards the tip. Towards the tip. And this region is very short. It is around 1 millimeter in length in the whole root system. So that is the root of meristematic tissue. খুব easily যদি বুজিবলৈ যাও এই পার্টিকুলার রিজনটোতে আমি কি দেখিব পাও? সেল ডিভিজন আমি দেখিবলৈ পাও. Then after the region of cell division or region of meristematic tissue comes the last region towards the tip, and this is called as the region of root cap. Now the region of root cap, it is formed by some parenchymatous cell. Kisuman simple tissues or pra a particular region to form hoy jitu eta cap like structure eta nisina hoige root tip to. And these are made up of, as I have said, very simple tissue called as the parenchymatous tissue. And this particular tissue, they secrete some jelly-like substance which is called as mucilage, and that helps in smoothing the hard soil, and so that the root tip can penetrate into the hard soil and go deep into the soil. So that is generally the function of the root cap, that it protects the root tip and helps in smoothing the hard soil. So very simply, these are about the part of a typical root. So again I am repeating, these parts are region of maturation. If we come from the base of the stem or from the top towards the tip, then we get the region of maturation, region of elongation. Region of elongation only bears the root hair region. Then comes the region of meristematic tissue, and lastly comes the region of root cap. And in case of some plants, that is an exception, in case of some plants such as the aquatic plants, the root caps, they are modified to form root pockets as well.
Now let's come to the types of root system. So there are three types of root system. These are taproot system, fibrous root system, and adventitious root system. Now let's see how these three root systems are different. In case of the taproot system, as you can see in the diagram, the primary root is developed from the radicle of the embryo. As I have stated earlier, that the radicle gives rise to the whole root system. And in the diagram you can see a main axis coming right from the base of the stem. So here it is white in color. So this is the primary root, and from the primary root comes out the lateral branches, and in that we get the secondary roots and the tertiary roots over the primary root. So this type of roots are called as the taproot system. And this taproot system, it is generally found in case of the dicotyledonous plants. Now let's come to the fibrous root system. Fibrous root system has its origin from the taproot system only. But you can see in the picture that the fibrous roots, they are quite different, and the name also suggests that they are all fiber or hair-like structure. In case of the fibrous root system, the taproot system, it is replaced due to the disintegration of the taproot system in some plants in the later stages of their life and are replaced by the fiber-like structures from the base of the stem gives rise to the fibrous root system. In this two type of root system, the main difference we can see is that the taproot system, the primary root, it persists throughout their life, and in case of the fibrous root system, the primary root, which is the result of the radicals growth, does not persist throughout its life. And the third root system is the adventitious root system. So in some books you may find these two root systems, that is the adventitious root system and the fibrous root system, they bears the same name. But as you can see there in the third diagram, adventitious roots. So the difference between this root with the other two is that they are born from any part of the plant body other than the radicle. Adventitious roots, they are not formed from the radicle of the embryo, and these roots can be formed from any part of the plant body such as the root, stem, leaves, etc. So these are the main difference of these three root system based on the origin of the root system in the plant body. Now let's see the other differences that we can find it in the three root systems. So this is the summary of the three types of root system that we can see. The taproot system, it develops from radicle of embryo, example dicots. Fibrous root system develops from radicle of embryo, example monocots, and develops from any part of the plant body other than embryo, example both dicots and monocots in case of adventitious roots. Taproot system, it is long lived. Fibrous root system, it is short lived, as these are replaced by the primary root system or the taproot system, therefore these are short lived. And adventitious root system, they are again long lived. Generally it is seen that in many plants they are generally used for giving mechanical support to the plant body from the upper part of the plant body. The taproot system, they are deep feeders as they go deep into the soil, therefore they are called as deep feeder. Fibrous root system, they are surface feeder as they cannot go deep into the soil, and adventitious root system, they are also surface feeders. Taproot system, they are the primary root, it persists throughout the life, and from above the primary root comes the secondary and the tertiary root. In case of fibrous root system, the primary root, that it dies after a short span of life and replaced by many fiber-like roots. And in case of adventitious roots, no primary roots are found and they generally remain in cluster. So these are some important points to be kept in mind while differentiating the three types of root system.
So we have come to the end of the class, and before ending the class, let's have a quick revision of what we have learned today. We started with the word morphology. What does morphology mean? And it means the study of external features of a plant body. Then we discussed about the parts of a flowering plant or an angiospermic plant. So it generally or broadly consists of two parts, and these are root system and the shoot system. And in this, we today started with the root system. So there we discussed a few characters such as roots are the descending axis of the plant body. Roots are positively geotropic and negatively phototropic. Radicle is the specific tissue that develops the root system in case of plants. Then Roots are non-green and cannot make their own food. Roots do not have nodes and internodes. Root possesses lateral branches. Root possesses root tip and root hairs are some of the characteristics that we have learned today. Then after that, we discussed about the parts of a typical root, which comprises of 5 parts, such as the region of maturation, region of elongation, region of root hair, region of meristematic tissue, and region of root cap. And then we discussed about the types of root system. So there are 3 types of root system, and these 3 types are taproot system, fibrous root system, and adventitious root system. So I hope you all have liked the class. Thank you.